Hi there, gorgeous! Hope you're having a fabulous day. In today's video, we're taking a little bit of a trip down memory lane. I wanted to share some of my old school makeup obsessions with you, specifically from the drugstore. These are products that I have been in love with since the day that I discovered them, and they are definitely not new. I mean, I feel like there's so much new makeup that comes out constantly. It's hard to keep up with, number one, but then we also forget about the really good stuff that is just a classic. I mean, it's just classic. Some of these you can't get anymore. Some of them I have replaced multiple times, but I absolutely love them nonetheless. And if you have favorites that you have been obsessed with that are really old school, feel free to share yours in the comments below. The first product I have to share with you is one that I did a video on, and it's had the most views of any of the videos on my channel, I feel like. I may be wrong, but it's had over 1 million views of this one product, and it's still one that I absolutely love, and that's the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. I love this one not only for the price point, but the coverage is one of the best drugstore concealers I've ever used. It's flawless, really easy to apply, easy to blend in. You don't need much product when you are using it. This is one of those that I have replaced countless numbers of times. It's a great staple concealer that is always in my drawer. And I really love how long it lasts underneath my eyes. It's not one that's going to crease or fall apart. That's probably my most favorite aspect of that concealer. I can wear it for 15, 18 hours and it still looks just as great as when I first applied it. So it is a true must-have obsession of mine that I use on the weekly. Absolutely. The other one is Maybelline's Fit Me Concealer. This is one, I remember trying it on YouTube years ago. Did not think I would like it at all, but ended up loving it. And just like the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, it's one of those that does not crease, fall apart under the eyes, and it looks amazing on the skin. It doesn't look like you're wearing anything. It's utterly flawless. It does a great job of concealing dark under eye circles, and it's another one that is always in my makeup drawer, and I've replaced it countless times also. Eyeshadow. Well, it goes without saying that I love eyeshadow. For those of you who know me, you know that's my #1 makeup product of all time. It's what got me started on YouTube, and I just love it. But there are a few drugstore eyeshadows that I use quite frequently, and some of them you cannot get anymore. But the first one that I wanted to share with you is from Wet n Wild, and that is the Petalette palette. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. If you're curious about what this look is, I'll show you up close so you can see the details of it. And it's just a great purple eyeshadow palette. Cooler tones in here. It's not a warm toned palette by any means. The pigmentation is superior. I do have to apply them wet sometimes if I want the look to be more striking like I did today. And if you wanted to recreate the look that I'm wearing here today, I took the transition shade at the top of the palette. I applied that in the crease. I used this shade on the lids today. I did apply it wet. And then I used this shade in the outer V and also to line the eyes and create a wing. And it's a great staple look for when you don't know what you want to wear. And purple, these purples especially, are universally flattering. So you can wear them no matter your complexion, no matter your eye color, and they will look fantastic. The other eyeshadows I wanted to share with you, I don't think you can get these anymore. And I have so many of these, and I'm really sad I can't get these anymore, but they are just wonderful. The L'Oreal 24-Hour Infallible eyeshadows. You remember these, the singles? I pulled out my 2 most favorite ones that I'm using constantly to share the color shades with you, but I feel like I have every single one of them in my drawer here. And the pigmentation with these was phenomenal. Never had any issues with them. All-time favorite eyeshadows. Now, the ones that I love and use consistently, the ones you'll see me wear consistently, are the ones called Burst into Bloom, and this is the most beautiful purple. Oh, it's gorgeous. I mean, if you haven't been able to tell, I'm obsessed with purples. And this one is great all over the eyes, all by itself, by the way. Or you can pair it up with a neutral in the crease. You can pair it up with a darker purple in the crease. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I love, love, love that color. The other one that I really, truly am attracted to and can never be without is the one called Silver Sky. This is a pure, true silver. I was looking for a silver for the longest time before I discovered this one that looked truly silver, for lack of a better description. And it's really hard to find a true silver eyeshadow like this shade. But this one was perfect, and it's got a subtle amount of sparkle glitter to it. It is one that I have to apply wet on the eyes because it does have a little bit of a fallout associated with it. But it's such a beautiful color, especially on blue eyes. It makes my eyes stand out extremely well, and it's one that I love to pair up with darker grays, blues, purples look great with it too, and it's a staple color. And I've not really found a silver like this one since this shade, so it's absolutely one that I still use when I'm looking for a silver look on my eyes. In terms of blush, here's one blush I could just never be without. The Milani baked blushes. I love these. I still have the Luminoso one. That is a favorite, absolutely. But the Dolce Pink one is so gorgeous and so pigmented. Adds a little bit of highlight to your skin. Again, these are just such great staple blushes. And I found myself using them more when Milani came out with the newer shades that they released in their baked blush line. I started picking these up a lot more and rediscovering them and really, really loving them all over again. Another blush that is a go-to staple favorite of mine, I don't know how old school this one really is, but it's not really talked about on YouTube much. That is the Covergirl Instant Cheekbones blush in the shade Refined Rose. And this is traditionally always the color that you will see on my cheeks in videos. It's one that I reach for the most often. And the way that I usually apply it is I will take my fan brush and I will sweep in between these two colors specifically and combine them up and then brush it on top of the skin, and it provides the most beautiful natural flush of color. It's the most perfect color from my complexion and a go-to favorite. The other blush, the one that I'm wearing today, that is another one that I tend to mix up with the Refined Rose one I just shared with you, and I love it because it has a cream consistency and it looks very fresh on the skin. That is Wet n Wild's Cream Stick Blush in the shade Peach Bums. Now this is a dupe for the NARS Cream Stick Blush in Orgasm. The two are identical, and I did do a comparison between them in a dupes video many years ago, but I still consistently find myself using the Wet n Wild one. I just love it. And the pigment is amazing with it. You don't need to apply much. It blends in so nicely on the skin. And I feel like the NARS one is one that you can end up applying too much of because it is super pigmented too, but I find that I have a little bit more control with the Wet n Wild one, and I think that's why I like it a little bit better. Plus the price range is a lot better in case I ever run out of it. I don't even know if you can get it anymore. I think you can, but it's everyday favorite staple of mine. I absolutely love it. When I'm not wearing the Covergirl one and I want something that looks more luminous and bright on the skin, this is top favorite of mine. The other product I wanted to share with you is big dent in it because I just love it. And that's the Rimmel Stay Matte Pressed Powder. What I love about this one is that it does help to set the skin, but it doesn't give you this fully mattified appearance. It's a dewy finish if you're careful to apply a little bit. And that's usually what I will do with it, is I will dust my face lightly with it, and I love the results that it gives my skin. It doesn't feel packed on, it doesn't feel dry, and it helps to keep everything intact. It just looks gorgeous, and it's one that I have been using, golly, probably since I first started on YouTube, and I just keep repurchasing because it is that great. Another old school favorite that I have been using since I want to say I was in my 20s, long before I ever got started here on YouTube, is the L'Oreal Voluminous Original Mascara. What I love about this mascara is not only the wand, I love the wand with this stuff, but the formula is very rich black. It doesn't clump, it doesn't flake, it doesn't smudge, and it looks beautiful on the lashes. And it's one of those that gives me confidence when I'm not wearing falsies. It just makes my eyes look spectacular. I know on some people it doesn't last that long, and it makes me really sad that it doesn't work for some people because I feel like it's such a great formula for me. But in its defense, I can tell you that I've purchased this one many times, and sometimes I do get a dud. I have had that happen to me where I'll get one that just smudges and flakes, and I don't know what that is, but for the most part, every tube I have bought of this has been pretty good stuff, and it still keeps me coming back. And thankfully this tube has not steered me wrong, but it's still a wonderful, wonderful product and cannot be without it. Another one that I discovered years ago, a few years ago, that what I would consider to be an old school favorite, because you don't really hear about this one talked about that much and it's been around a while, is the number 7 bronzer. This is the one called Golden Sand. You can see I have a big hole running in that one. This is still one that I use all the time, and I've replaced it already, and I just love it. It's the most perfect color on my skin tone, and it looks beautiful. It lasts all day. The last must-have obsession that I am using weekly, I would say. I wear this one so much. You've probably seen it in a lot of my video descriptions more often than not, is the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Fortune Cookie, and I'm wearing it in today's video too. I feel like this one is the perfect gloss for me because it has a slight peach tint to it, and it's great when I'm wearing looks that are rather bold on the eyes and I want something that's a little bit more subtle on the lips, but I maybe don't want to wear a full lipstick for the day. That's when I will apply this gloss, and it's just got the most beautiful level of color in it. And it's another one that I like to pair over the top of more orange lipsticks, coral lipsticks, pink lipsticks. It looks really great over the top of too. It's just one of those all-around excellent staples that I will be repurchasing again and again and again. Let me know what some of your most favorite obsessions are, whether they're 10 years old, 15 years old, whatever the case may be. Would love to hear which products that you find yourself coming back to over and over again that you could never be without. In a world where everything changes by the day and there's so much new makeup being released, I feel like it's nice to every now and then just focus on tested and tried products that are not necessarily new, but they work really good and they are of sound quality. So would love to hear your choices also. Thanks for being here, for taking the time to watch. Really enjoyed you spending this time with me, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.